Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Dame and this is Dame Over, the channel where I try not to get game over. Today in Battlefield 1 we're having a look at playing as the Revive Medic. I've made a couple of loadouts here that should help keep you and your teammates in the fight. Both of these builds deal with different styles of play but are there to complement the use of the medical syringe. So let's have a look at what we've got.
Will the disruptive doctor please contact reception? Thank you.
This loadout is inspired by my friend GetGoodGuy. He's made a more in-depth video about a very similar build and I've used that as a basis for this one. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check it out along with his other Battlefield 1 builds. So let's start by looking at the primary. The disruptive doctor is more about close range engagement, so we've gone with the auto-loading 8.25 extended variant. This rifle is excellent at challenging in close quarters if you have to rush in to save your teammates from an untimely death. It's got an impressively fast fire rate and is very accurate up close. You want to avoid fights with snipers or medics using the longer range rifles because the higher damage over that range will usually mean that you lose out. Challenging the support troops, however, is more than doable. The true power of this weapon lies in shock and awe tactics, so try and stick to flanking and catching people unawares where possible. This weapon is an absolute beast to deal with when you're rushing in, and unlike the other medic rifles you don't have to wait for the sights to drop, so spam the trigger and you'll be cleaning up the kills. For our secondary we've gone with the P08 pistol. This weapon is near the top for damage for the medic class but still has a healthy fire rate. It's best suited to use as a follow-up weapon to help mop up already injured players, and with a steady hand can be used really effectively when you're firing from the hip. The extra punch this weapon has per shot is what swayed me away from the C93, but if you choose that instead, you'll still have very similar results. Gadget number 1, and the focus of this video, the medical syringe. This piece of equipment is one of the most important in the entire game. A well-placed revive can often mean the difference between your team winning and losing. Unfortunately, it doesn't get used often enough, and we'll have a look at the reasons why a little later in the video. Gadget number 2 is the rifle grenades. I tend to favour the frag variant because it offers more infantry damage and has the added bonus of not destroying the cover you're about to occupy. Using the rifle grenades takes a little bit of practice, but as soon as you get the range down you can easily hit people from across the map. With this build though, you'll want to use it in the opening stage of your assault, firing through windows or onto the objective to kill or weaken the enemies, and then following up to mop up the kills. Our grenade is an old favourite of mine, the impact grenade. I talk about this in more depth in my aggressive sniper build video, but in this case it should be used in a similar fashion, either to finish a weakened enemy or at the start of your assault to then finish them with your gun. For our melee I've gone with the trench mace. Again, it's whichever you feel the most comfortable with. I tend to favour the higher damage archetypes because it's a 2-hit kill, but with this class, using it as a follow-up weapon is a really good way to get some brutal kills. The mace also gets bonus points because of its ability to let you get medieval on someone. So let's look at loadout number 2.
Will the systematic surgeon return to the operating theatre? We found your wristwatch in Mrs. Johansson's spleen.
I'm no Superman.
This build is pretty much the same as the Disruptive Doctor, so we'll only talk about what's different. For the primary, I've gone for the Mondragon Storm. Or, I mean, it's Spanish, so it's like Mondragon. Anyway, this is a favourite amongst medic class users, and for a very good reason. It gives you a 3-hit kill from almost any range, and has a high rate of fire, a wide field of view when you aim down the sight, and a hell of a lot of manoeuvrability. So it outstrips something like the Selbstlader. The Mondragon, fits really well into this build because you're going to want to pick your targets off from range and then go in to revive your teammates when it's cleared out. For the secondary, we've got the MLE 1903, which again featured in my aggressive sniper video. It's a very accurate hip fire, so plays well into the area defense role you'll also need to take with this build. Having the high fire rate for this pistol will help you get out the situations where the enemy flank you. As promised earlier, we'll go back and have a look at the medical syringe. When playing as a revive medic, you'll find quite often that your teammates will spawn in unaware of you trying to go for the res. So if you are that teammate that's dead, please try and wait for 10 seconds, and hopefully you can avoid some moments like this.
When you try your best but you don't succeed.
Not only will the death you've just suffered be wiped off the board, but you'll now be able to take advantage of what equates to a squad spawn while you're still under fire, and you've got a teammate next to you pointing his gun at the bad guys. Equally, when you're playing as a revived medic, make sure you remove the threats around your teammates before you get them up. It's much better to stay alive for 10 seconds and wait for a squad spawn than it is to run in and die trying to get the res. These builds should help keep you and your teammates alive and in the fight, and remember, your job as a revived medic is to do exactly that. Stick your teammates in the balls with your needle and watch them get straight back in the fight. If you had a good time, then hit the like button, and if you've not been here before, then hit the subscribe button too. Until next time, that's game over. Peace.